What's up, Africa? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Truth Talk Nigeria right here in the heart and city of Lagos. I'm super excited to be back in the studio. Of course, like we always do, we bring you the very best of topics, and today it will be different. I have two gentlemen in the studio with me. You know, these guys are sports executive. When it comes to sports, they're like top guys. To my far right first, my co-host, Shayo. Welcome to the studio and welcome
How you doing,
on
bro?
board.
I'm not sure I can match your energy, but I'll go try.
It's good to have you on board.
Same here,
Our
man.
new
Same here,
co-host,
man.
guys, ladies and gentlemen, follow him on Instagram. What's your IG handle?
I try Olabi.
Olawale, that's it. And of course, our guest today is the one and only Olawale Adigun, sports enthusiast. Wale and what's the podcast again? Ugeli SC. And this is the first Nigerian I've seen who is really crazy about
Nigeria football.
Yeah. How are you feeling today, brother?
Good to be here. Big shout out to Gilly Rovers. I'm actually the sporting director. So we play in the third division. That's the NLO. And
This was the NLO.
the NLO, it's the third
Nigerian
division.
League,
Nationwide League One.
Please, so the same we have the Premier League. You have
So that's the NPFL, that's the NNL, and that's the NLO.
Like in the UK, you have the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
You have the
Championship.
Championship.
And you have League One.
League One. National League or something.
No, League One.
Premier League.
In England, it's League One. So the League One here
NLO.
is the Nationwide League One.
So whoever wins that league gets promoted to what?
Goes to the second division.
NNL.
And the second division now goes to the.
NPFL.
That's the number one.
That's the Premier Division.
So how much does the team that wins at the NLO take home?
Okay, so there's no money. There's nothing. You just probably right now you get a bus. You get a coaster bus. That is
okay.
what the NLO organizes.
Well, that's not
But that's fair enough,
Yeah,
considering
because actually-
considering movement is something there.
Actually, because the NLO is a semi-professional league.
okay.
It is not fully pro. It's
Okay.
it's semi. It's basically Auckland City coming to the Club World Cup, right?
So they'll
You
go
got a
back to
couple
their
of
day
teachers, you
job.
got a couple of farmers, and yeah, sort of. So the NLO is made for semi-professional footballers.
One boy that just knows how to play football in the area.
You get it. It's mostly grassroots, and the NLO is also divided into two. There's the under 19,
Okay.
and there's the main NLO.
No good.
So, and the NLO, fun fact, has over 340 clubs nationwide.
In Nigeria.
Yep, yeah.
So all these Magodo football residents, they're part of the NLO.
Just come through. You'll probably be in the Lagos part of it. You know, we are in Ughelli, we're in Delta State.
Yeah.
So we also have our division as well. I mean, we are even small. Go to Spain, the Tercera. That's the third
Yeah, that's
division.
true.
It's like 500 clubs,
Mm.
and all are fighting for just 4
Slots.
slots to gain promotion
In
to
League B.
the second division. So
And then if you qualify, then you get straight into the La
you
Liga.
get straight to no, not to La Liga. You get to the Segunda division.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then from the Segunda, then you go to La Liga. So that's how it works. Even the nationwide, the League One in England, you have about 24, 28 teams. But you know the reason they don't have a lot? Because there's still League Two.
Yeah, League Two.
Yeah.
Then you also have to start going to conferences. You know, see, the UK is a
and
different
Windshield.
one. Yeah. There's the conference, there's the Ishmian Premier League.
Yeah.
You can go on and on. I mean, the classic example is Wrexham.
Okay.
Wrexham is owned by Rob McElhenney and the other guy from Hollywood. I can't remember his name now. And they walked their way down from League Two, I think, and now they're in the championship. Although they have plenty of money though.
So this is really amazing to know that we have this kind of stuff in Nigeria.
Oh, yeah.
Most
Yeah.
people do not know about
Yeah.
this.
Exactly.
I think it's good that we're educating people. But let's talk about Nigeria.
Yep.
The World Cup is coming, and the qualifiers. I mean, first off, how would you rate? Shai, how would you rate the performance of Nigeria? We didn't qualify last time.
Last time, and we're
It
on
was
the verge,
heartbreaking.
and we're practically on the verge of not qualifying right now. It's a big concern because
What's
you
the
look at the
problem?
group. I think it's down to attitude.
From the
The
coaching
players, more like the players, and that's a personal opinion though.
Okay.
I'd say it's the attitude because really, you see them on the field and you don't see that fight in them. And it was interesting to listen to a player who didn't play pro, but was a legend of the league, Victor Ezeji,
Okay.
on radio, and that was one of the things he said. He
Right.
said he doesn't have a problem with bringing players back, but do they understand what it means to fight as a Super Eagles player? That is what we're not saying.
So do you think,
That's a big
they're
challenge.
playing as a team, or
They're-
everybody just has ambition to want to be there? Because there's something about understand that it's teamwork that makes the dream work.
Yes.
Are they playing as a team? Do you think they're playing as a team?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, all you see is individualistic displays. And see, at this level, it has to be. See, football is a team game. It's a collective, and it's that's just one factor. There are a lot of factors. There are administrative factors.
Yeah.
You know, there are also factors of the fact that maybe we're also just not good enough. Let's be very honest with ourselves.
Are we not good enough, really, with the quality of players that we have? We have Osimhen, we have Ademola Lookman. There's this guy who's moving to. There's a conversation about Ademola Lookman and one other guy moving to Arsenal.
Oh yeah, there's Sam Chukwueze as well.
Chukwueze, yeah, there's Chukwueze. So we have the quality of players. Why are we not turning these games into qualifications?
It's difficult to explain because this is about second back-to-back World Cup. Anyways, Italy about to do 3. So,
So why not?
why not us? But see, missing out on 2 consecutive World Cups is abominable. Honestly, it's criminal for a team like Nigeria because of our heritage, because of what we've achieved in the game. But if you don't beat Zimbabwe, how do you deserve to?
That was what I was coming to.
This is the problem.
Quality of the opposition is not even one we should fear.
So this is it. I think that we need to move away from hearing the name of a country and say, oh, these guys, we can beat them. There's a thing like that. You wake up and say, oh, it's not Southampton.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Valid point.
So once we hear the name of a... Because guess what? They're also evolving. The Zimbabwe players of 10 years ago are not Zimbabwe players of now. They have new kids on the block.
Yeah.
So when you say Zimbabwe, some people just feel like, I know Zimbabwe, I'm over 2.5.
You make a valid point, but there are still minnows in football. Trust me.
There will always be.
All due respect to Zimbabwe, I don't think that they're a top shelf team in African football.
But it's football. Football is
and
football.
guess what? We've played them twice and we've not been able to beat them.
That should tell you something, that it is not... Sometimes people just rank football teams. Sometimes I feel like the rankings do not even do justice to the football teams. So, I know that there are bodies that, would say this because of this, they won this.
Bayern piped Auckland 10. And Auckland could have said, okay, we are also improving, right?
But
Al Hilal did well against Real Madrid, and they beat Man City.
So what I'm saying.
Good point. But Al Hilal, Saudi side, who have some of the best players. They're not in Europe anymore.
Exactly. There's some clubs in Saudi that are as good as an European team.
Absolutely.
Maybe a bit aged, but if the fight is there, talent won't matter.
Even look at our points tally. We have about 6 points or 7 points from 6 games. How do you qualify for the World Cup?
When you also had 18 points.
And South Africa on 13. Yeah. So wait. We're a praying nation, right? So we'll be praying that we go to the World Cup and South Africa don't. What kind of God is that?
We're already talking about them being banned or something because of some infraction.
We've so gone so slowly that
we're praying to God to ban. I think they don't know God.
Because it says South Africa fielded an ineligible player.
So we're banking on that right now.
Even if you take 3 points away from them, we are still going to South Africa in September.
Those guys are crazy.
No, real crazy.
Let's talk about the coach. We have a new coach, right?
Otishala. That's the joke in town. He knows.
Eric Chell. Chell like Chelle.
What is Chelle? So, kill Chelle.
No, honestly, I mean, if we fail to qualify for the World Cup, it's not his fault.
It's not on him. Yeah, no, it's definitely not on him.
The deed was done before he came through. I would only be judging him by virtue of the AFCON, which is coming up in December in Morocco. That's when I can bring up my shit or my rap shit on Eric Chell. But so far so good. I think it's been decent. He has given Nigerians something that they want, but Nigerians have to be careful. It's a poison chalice. We want to play attacking football. We want to play sexy football.
Beautiful football.
We want to play beautiful football, score goals, attack. And we did that at the Unity Cup. But guess what? Defensively, we were in shambles. And those were the virtues our past managers like Gennett Raw, Pesero brought. We were not spectacular, but we were difficult
to
at the back.
Yes. Crazy. Yeah, it was really, especially under Gennett Raw.
Yeah.
We didn't play spectacular, but we're full of substance, not style. And you need to find the balance, especially in international football. But Chell, I mean, the game against Zimbabwe, we were leading 1-0, and this guy still brings in Boniface and brings another attacker. I'm like,
when you should close shop.
Bro, bring in a defender. Respect Zimbabwe. And it's like, how many minutes to go? Maybe 5 minutes to go. Bring in a defender and respect these guys. Let's take the 1-0, we'll take it.
And go home.
And guess what? He brings on Boniface and, we drop points.
Yeah.
And those points are haunting us right now. So, Eric Chell has, if you ask almost every Nigerians right now, they're like, oh, we love the football we saw against Jamaica, against Ghana.
But that was where that flaw showed the most. Because we score, they score. we score, they score. If you come up against Morocco, Egypt, even South Africa,
Morocco, Egypt is like
trouble,
big time
trouble for that
big time
defense.
trouble. So, and do you think that the coach also gives the players that should play more play time?
Now, I think with Chell, I like the fact
game.
that he has opened his eyes. You know, when you bring in a new manager, he has a fresh set of eyes, fresh set of ideas. Maybe players who are not being given a chance finally can come into the fold and stake a claim. And I think that's what we've seen under Chell. We've seen some new players come through. Igor Ogbu from Slavia Prague, even some MPFL players have also been able to get a look in as well. And I love that for Eric Chell. I mean, open up things. Samu Chukwueze, I'm not a big fan of his, but maybe he looked reborn in the Unity Cup, but he knows that there's some players knocking on the door.
True.
And if he doesn't come correct again, it's going to be on the bench. You know, same also applies. Look at left back. We brought in that young boy from Werder Bremen who played in the UK. Lovely football, you know. Honestly, I can't remember his name right now. But in those 2 games, he gave everything, and that means that the other left backs we have need to know that you need to sit up. So that's why Richel has brought, and he said, "See, meritocracy is going to be my watchword here. Anybody who comes in this team must have merited it," and I think it's good to see.
All right, so let's leave international football. Let's talk about our own, the MPFL. First off, why do you think the MPFL, I hate to use this word, is unattractive to us? What can be done to make it attractive? Because why do you think that Nigerians always, it's Premier League fans, they support? See, you know, I've not seen somebody, maybe a few, that would have the jersey of an Ughelli.
Yeah.
Even him, he didn't come with Ughelli jersey. But let's leave that.
I've
come with some to give us, you know, like there's a 3SC, you know, there's a Rangers. We have
a lot of
Eimba Football Club.
Yeah.
So why do you think that Nigerians do not carry these clubs on their head? Is it the quality of streaming or watch, or do they edit stuff on DSTV? Which I see some of them, right? And I also say to be very honest, the quality of production
is spoiled.
Yeah, so that's a factor.
No, because when I watch it, I'm not interested. First off, the quality of the pitch is terrible.
Yep.
The visuals, we're talking about stuff the other time. This is visuals for us. The quality of cameras used in the Premier League is different.
Yeah.
In fact, SuperSport definitely taps from the Premier League, because I'm sure the production companies
they feed in them.
They feed, you know. So what is the problem? Is it funding from the government? Is it that Nigerians are not just patriotic?
So before Wale answers, I usually love to disagree with the fact that Nigerians are not carrying this thing on their head. Because if you go to Ibadan, Wale has been to Ibadan.
Oh well,
Kano.
I was
We've had people
one day and I
climbing.
Every home game, it's always a full house.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So
Same as Kano
it
Stadium.
is there. The question we should ask is, beyond that match day, how are we engaging these guys? So maybe Wale should answer his question, but I just thought to say that.
I mean, see, he's the marketing guy. He's the guy who should answer this question. Because the key point is what he said. It's not say people are not following these games.
Yeah.
The media also is doing its best. I mean, big shout out to the journalists, especially on the social space, who are putting a lot of materials on the MPFL. I mean, I can name likes of Toby Samuel,
Fuja,
a
Eniton,
lot
Badino,
of
so
people,
many of them.
my friends, my colleagues. I mean, they do a lot to preach the gospel of the MPFL, but it is not enough. It is not enough. We are not excelling in the little details, and there are sometimes, see, the little details are the things that set you apart. Let me give you a small one. Does the MPFL even have an official match ball?
Good.
They're the little details. Is the MPFL okay? So last week they said they want to send a couple of referees to Morocco to train for VAR. I'm like, you want VAR, right? But do you even have goal line technology?
Yeah.
Even the Premier League had goal line technology before
VAR. Yeah.
You crawl before you walk, don't you? But you want to walk before you. I don't know how. See, so far the NPFL clubs, its administration, still don't maximize the 3 components of league football anywhere across the world. We're not going anywhere. Number 1, television. If your league is on television, you're jonesing. That's the truth. If your league is on television, people cannot watch. So they'll tell you, we're on Star Times. We're on streaming. No, the guy who's in Kebbi State doesn't have the internet to stream your game. He probably has NTA Kebbi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can he watch it on NTA Kebbi? Can he watch it crisp and clear and enjoy the ambience? No. You say it's on start times. How many games on start times? Probably 2 or 3 a week. But guess what? If you bring VAR, you're going to put it on 3 stadiums. What happens to the other stadiums? So we need to, number one, television. I remember when the league was on Super Sports, there was an iconic moment for the NPFL that took it global.
So it's off Super Sport right now?
It's off Super Sport for a couple of years now. Now, do you remember when Sikiro Latuboson scored that beautiful goal?
Yes.
At the Agege Stadium. I think it was MFM against maybe Rangers, I can't remember. But that goal went on CNN. That goal took us global. That goal brought the NPFL to
limelight.
Because it was on TV, proper TV, not just the club's media officer doing a recording.
Not just media officer recording and saying
proper TV.
No, it was on television and the CNN picked it up and we went global. But did we consolidate on that? No, we didn't. Now, secondly, merchandising. Like you touched on it. How many clubs in the NPFL have an online presence and say, okay, you know what? If you want to buy an Amber jersey, you want to buy this jersey, just log on to www.whatever
order and it's delivered.
And order and it's delivered. No.
Yeah.
But guess what? We have people who want to buy these things.
All over.
Even in the diaspora. They want to buy these things. And clubs don't realize that you can make a lot of money from merchandise.
Yes. Money.
Face cards.
Number 3, because I don't want to take time. Number 3 is gate takings.
Yeah, I think we do 500. I was really good. We were charging 500.
Yeah.
See, I had a conversation with the man who owns Remo Stars. Big shout to Olawale Adigun years ago, and he told me, see, anywhere in the world you have to pay to watch football. Like you have to pay premium. See, you cannot be paying 200 naira now. See, I know the economy is bad, but you have to be ready to pay top dollar to watch football. Even if you're not paying top dollar, you know what? Pay to watch games. How many clubs are monetizing their turnstiles? They don't have turnstiles, right? But how many of them are monetizing those who are coming to watch the game?
Yeah.
Cannot players have a full house every weekend, right? Can they do accounts and say at the end of this year, this was how much that came in from get tickets? We don't know.
They don't even take
clubs like Arsenal, the big clubs in the world, at the end of their annual year, they will tell their fans how much we made from gate tickets.
And these 3 pillars would be it.
Yeah,
TV rights.
TV rights, everything.
Which is the biggest. Merchandise comes in. Then, of course,
so
gate tickets.
How do we sort out this TV rights thing? Because we have the National Television Authority, even though I still feel like, I'm sorry.
The NTA is stuck in the Stone Age.
Rubbish.
When you think about the SABC and NTA, it's like...
I have a problem.
Because SABC is bidding to buy rights for AFCON and stuff. Crazy.
Sometimes we focus on the things that don't really matter too. Sports is something that unifies the country.
True.
Football especially unifies the country.
Yeah.
There's nothing hard in having a dedicated channel. We have DSTV in this country. It doesn't cost the government anything to say for all the NPFL matches, let them be shown on this particular channel.
So I think it's...
There's a Ministry of Sports, there's a sports minister, they have budgets every year. And we're not looking...
And that was where I was going to, because the will is what is missing. They've created NTA Sports.
Oh, yeah.
There's a dedicated NTA Sports, which is on this same start times. That could have been doing the free-to-air version of things.
You don't even need to have our start times.
But see, the problem is a rippling one. We were meant to have done the digital switchover since 2015.
Yes, you are correct. Yep.
Till now, I'm not sure it has been done because nobody has that top of the table.
Willpower is lacking.
The willpower is what is lacking. So if you don't do the switchover, which would have allowed more spread, more views, more grassroots to view this same NTA we're talking about.
Well, I think
so it's a rippling effect.
A lot of people who have been there for decades. They tell you that the manager of the NTA Sport is one Alhaji or Mr.
Yeah.
Something that is 60-year-old. Doesn't understand.
We're stuck in the Stone Age. Yeah.
Doesn't understand short videos, Instagram reels. Look at what Sky Sports is doing.
He mentioned SABC. SABC, you can watch PSL on SABC. The Moroccan Botola, you can watch it on national TV in Morocco.
Yeah.
Every game. Right?
Same for Egypt.
Same for Egypt as well. Now, let me take you to Brazil. Brazilian football, I mean, we've seen the best of that Club World Cup, right? But a lot of people don't know that Brazil, their league was in the doldrums a couple of years ago. Well, guess what? The government made the policy and started bringing corporate governance, running clubs, best global practice in terms of accountability. And guess what? The Brazilian clubs have won the last 6 Copa Libertadores. The Libertadores is the
Champions
South
League
American version of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Now, of those 6 finals, 4 of them have been all Brazilians. Botafogo, who are the current champions, by the last time I checked, they are even the 10th most supported team in Brazil. They are not a big side.
Yeah.
They are not a big side like Palmeiras, Fluminense, and Santos.
Yeah.
They are the 10th best supported side in Brazil. But guess what? They won this Copa Libertadores last year. Why? Because government has had the willpower to be able to ensure that they do things the right way. Here, government don't see football as a business yet. It is still a tool, a propaganda tool. And that is why Heartland will go on relegation for the second season consecutively. And the government will say, you know what? We are ready to bring in another 300 million naira and buy a slot and come back. Is that not madness? So the willpower has to be there. We can do that. We have people who can do these things.
Get it done, yeah.
But do you think the government will like to be privatized?
See,
Because I think that because the way the government works, when you look at it, power changes hands every 4 years or every 8 years. When somebody new comes into the system,
It's back to square one.
He's not interested. Is the president currently interested in sports? I do not know. The point, can it be privatized to a point where there's a body, that just handles this? I know the government.
So that was the idea when the LMC was formed, and I know those were my A days on radio. That's when he also joined the party, 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
With the Obasekis and the Owumis, who is back in the frame again.
He's a CEO.
Now, so privatization of those who would run the league was why the league management company was created. But
So what
we all
happened?
know it was a faulty foundation.
Well, how was it for the family?
So there was still the hand of Esau, voice of Jacob in the old setting at the time. And I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, Olawale.
There's still a lot of God. See, there's nothing you can
We call that
Wait,
interference,
so are you
by the
saying
way.
right now there's no headway in having the NPFL airing regularly on TV?
It is possible. It is possible. But remember, now SuperSport are going to tell you, okay, you have to pay us now.
Yeah.
Because on the norms, SuperSport are supposed to be the one paying you to have those games. That is where TV revenue comes.
Exactly.
Where at the end of the season, clubs will share TV revenue
By
how much you appeared, like what they do in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But because you are not coming from a position of strength, you cannot go and tell SuperSport and say, give me $200,000 because we want to put the NPFL there. Rather, the SuperSport will tell you, pay us
pay
to
for
cover your
airtime.
match for airtime.
You're buying
Because
airtime rather than
airtime
them
personnel,
paying
our
you.
OB vans
Exactly.
will take it to all of these centers.
Yeah.
There's a time when OB vans were going to Maiduguri now.
Yeah.
OB vans were going to Ibadan. In fact, this game scheduling was based on proximity. If there's a game in Lagos and there's one in Ibadan, okay, let's just do double weather and do, both together. But it is possible. Very much possible. I know I like the old thing about streaming, but see, we're not still ready yet.
Not there yet.
We're not there yet. Because see, if you want to take the NPFL to the nook and corners, you have to first of all put it on terrestrial television.
channel.
Yeah.
And that is where the NTA comes in. But like we said, the NTA is still in the 60s. Or is it
Maybe
in the
we need
70s?
to reach out to who's in charge of NTA Sport.
You know,
These are the conversations.
There
that-
should be
This is
a-
how conversations start.
But I want to say something that, see, whatever I want to do in this country, even in the best countries, government is still involved.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because government has to create the enabling
environment.
It has to create-
Policies and all
Exactly. You need government. If the Premier League needs government, when the whole is it the breakaway
Brexit.
not even the Brexit, when clubs wanted to break away
Oh,
from
okay.
their
The
Super League, or whatever,
stuff, yeah.
the UK formed what they call independent whatever to ensure that this doesn't happen again. When big clubs say they want to
Pull out of
pull out
it.
again.
Yeah.
No, this stuff they wanted to do one time.
It was a super,
And that's it. That was easy because the government understood how much GDP the Premier League was
Premier
bringing in.
brings. You get.
So if we understand that and we think in that line, we would
We don't
understand.
even have places where people can go for tours and look at.
We are not creating. He mentioned it, but the what I was looking for when he was talking about it. No club in the NPFL still creates what they call the match day experience.
Yep.
You know when you go to a game and you don't want to leave. Big shout out to clubs who do it. They are not even in the NPFL. Sporting Lagos.
Yeah.
If you go for Sporting Lagos matches,
It's a
man,
carnival.
you're treated like a prince. And you know the interesting thing, they don't even own the stadium, but they curate it. Sporting Lagos played in the NPFL
They played in the NPFL last season.
ago.
They just
They're back in
relegated.
the NNL, the second division. But the way they curated
Teslim Balogun Stadium.
Teslim Balogun Stadium, for every game they play at home, they curate it and you think it's theirs. But when you go there and you probably pay for a certain category, you might even drink champagne. I'm one of the guys who creates kits for the NPFL, Owu Sports.
Yeah.
Barrister, is it Tunde? What's the name?
Tunji Brown.
Tunji Brown. He said, Wale, let me say to Yoruba, mo fẹ́ padà wá again. That should be the feeling if you go to any game in the NPFL. That you want to come back and enjoy it. Shout out to Ikorodu City as well.
Also,
who do their
coming
best.
in. Yeah.
Guess what? All these clubs were mentioning started even from the lower, but the big clubs in the NPFL don't do anything. And that is the way it should be.
It's politics.
It's
And,
the way it should
another
be.
thing is, these are private clubs. So what you said also matters. Yes, we need government, but not necessarily. In my opinion, I don't think government should own, except you are ready to run it professionally.
I think that they will get to a point if all the clubs are privately owned. Imagine having 20, 30, 40 strong clubs that are privately owned. They could come together and say,
That dream can never come true in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because of the way Nigeria is shaped historically. Football has always been a tool of propaganda. But what you could do is bring in private, hands to run. No club.
And allow them, see, and it's like I said, it's not it's not a problem if government keeps owning the clubs. But if you hear at Shooting Stars that they're coming to inspect Adamasingba Stadium and you've not put it in place to be used, then you must accept whatever penalty is meted out. The commissioner should not pick his phone and call the chairman of the LMC and say, what are your boys here doing? And they veto, allow, honorable, don't worry, sir, we'll do it. We should stop that way we would not make progress.
Like I said, we need to excel in the little things. See, some people think that opening your books at the end of your annual year is a big deal. It's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
In fact, when you open your books and probably you're making losses, there's no shame in making losses, right? It helps people out there value your football club.
Yeah.
They know the value of, put your books out there.
As it
Even
should be.
the government, because the government clubs sell players, right? But
We
when
don't
was the last time you
even
heard
know.
that a player left the NPFL and he left for 200,000 euros? No, they don't put it out there.
There was one that said left and go. Where did he leave?
Players leave and you just hear from our own academy. No, man, it's not good for business.
Yeah.
When the media cannot be able to put a value on players.
And that's because they want to keep taking the subvention from government.
Oh, man.
So
So your
why
government
would I
money-
let them know that I have made 200k, for
The
example?
day
is
your
about-
governor knew
knows how
that
much
you
you've
sold the
a
player for 200,000 euros, that's the day you never collect any money
Any
from the government
subvention
again. Yeah, because the governor will tell you that.
Go and sell more
He
players.
made this. It was when MFM sold, was it Sekiro or was it Ode?
Yeah.
They sold Ode to, I think, Switzerland. And the general overseer had the money he went for. I'm like,
Yes.
so you people, there's money in this thing like this.
Exactly.
That is what the governors also say. Like, so you people make this
Make
money,
this.
then let's start cutting your subventions, But that is the way it should be.
It should be, yeah.
Look at Remo Stars.
Business.
Remo Stars, they've made it their business to sell players and they're making a killing from it. They have an academy side called Beyond Limits. They play in the NNL and they have their senior side, Remo Stars, who are champions of the NPFL. But the way they've run that club, you need to go to their facility, the Remo Stars Institute,
Yeah.
or Remo Stars Stadium in Ikene. It is a state of art. It's a world class. That's what, in fact, if you go to
He owns a club in Germany or where?
No, in Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah.
If you go to Sundowns, go to Ajax Cape Town, what you get there is what you get there.
Yeah.
And it's in
Same
Ikene
quality.
from here. So if clubs can toe that line and start investing in structure, infrastructure, investing in academy, the sky is just starting.
And the problem I have with our people is, if you do it better, you would earn more.
You earn more.
That's the annoying part of the entire
I
thing.
personally think that we should get more people who would privatize clubs, who would buy clubs and run it. If we have 10 people who run it like Mr. Shuname, I think.
And for me personally, just like Olawale said, half and half. Even if you're a state commissioner, appoint the right guys
Exactly.
as
You
the
can say the
executive, the
government
chief
club, yeah.
executive of Shooting Stars. I'll say Shooting Stars because I'm from Oyo State, and I'm hoping that after this storm ends, 2027 we'll get it right. And I know Adepoju is with me on this, Toby, because both of us are passionate about Shooting Stars. Put the right executives there.
As we wrap up, let's just talk about the current Club World Cup going on. What are your thoughts? Man City was defeated.
Oh man, the mighty falling. But see, for City, they showed flashes. In the group stage, I thought they were the best team in the group stages. All through, scored lots of goals. Beat Al Ain, beat Wydad, beat Juventus as well. But against Al Ain, Pep admitted it. They were just lapses up front and at the back, and they're happy that it's come to an end. They probably want to go and rest, get a proper preseason. But my takeaway from that game in Orlando was the fact that Saudi came to the US to make a statement that whatever money we've been getting from the PIF,
it's not joke.
Exactly. They backed it up with what Al Hilal did. And it wasn't just overnight. They did against Real Madrid. They went toe-to-toe with Real Madrid. And this time around, they went the distance. They were missing two key players. Mitrovic didn't play against Man City. Al Dawsari, one of the greatest Saudi players of the modern era, scored against Argentina at that World Cup, remember?
World Cup,
He didn't play. And they still play some good stuff. So I was happy that Al Hilal, made that statement. But for Man City, we've seen the acquisitions. Ryan Nouri, Ryan Cherki, we also against Yanni Reinders as well. They look like they looked away. Against Juve, they looked like the City of old.
Yeah.
They were very sharp. Passing was good. They were creating chances. So I will be honest and say, I'm not going to rate City by what I saw against Al Hilal. I think that they're top side, and everyone should take notes. They're coming back next season.
Finally, you want to say something?
For me, the Club World Cup, brilliant idea, because I never liked the fact that the European teams just come and join at the semi-finals.
At the semi-final stage, right?
After everyone has been hustling. So now everybody started fresh. Start from ground zero and build up. So a brilliant idea. Every 4 years also makes it nice. And everyone would anticipate. So good stuff.
Final question to both of you. Is Arsenal ready to win the Premier League next season?
Was Arsenal on this one down?
So he knows we have a running battle. He's an Arsenal fan. I'm a Man U fan, so I'll laugh.
Is Arsenal ready to win second for the third or fourth consecutive season?
It's second for the third consecutive season, right?
Yes, I think Arteta, and this is my personal opinion. Arteta is not the problem, or would not have been the problem, but he's been in charge long enough to nick something.
I have an unpopular opinion.
And yes, I'd allow you hear it, but for all his worth, we even had Ten Hag win the FA Cup.
Oh yeah.
So if it's anything, pick something you can build from there, and then build on that. I know, but that's how much people even have forgotten.
Oh yeah.
Because I've heard people say it, and I'm like, no, he won in his first season. He beat Lampard. In his first season, people have forgotten that because he didn't build on it, and it was now worse last season, where your biggest rival for the past 2 seasons faltered, and Liverpool.
There were injuries to key players. I also suffered a lot of injuries last season. But I have a very, very interesting opinion here, and a couple of people share it with me in the fan base, that Mikel Arteta is a good manager, but it's the guy to just help Arsenal become a strong force, right? But it's not the guy to win them trophies.
I agree. I agree.
I think this season, I don't think it's going to win the Premier League title as well.
Again, yeah.
Maybe they need to just bring another manager.
Who do you think they will bring?
So the other conversation is not going to be up right now. That guy's
PSG manager.
See, when you bring managers like Luis Enrique, you know that these guys are born winners, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
even a Conte.
Yeah. So exactly. When you bring in Conte, you know that you're going to win. So I think Arteta has done a decent job. I mean, look at the way they've gone about their business again. They've brought in Norgard. Thomas Partey's not an Arsenal player anymore as of this morning. I think Jorginho also has left with Flamengo at the Club World Cup. I'm hearing Eberechi Eze from Palace. I'm hearing a number 9, maybe Shesko.
Exactly. I was going to ask, why are they not getting a striker? Because that was a major problem.
Arsenal don't do it fast like City, and the other sides like Man United also do it. They always try to take their time. But I think that Arteta, once again, it's going to be a near miss again this season, because I think City have really, really, they've strengthened.
Reinforced, yeah.
Liverpool are reinforcing as well. I'm hearing things. They're going to bring in a big striker. Maybe Alexander Isak, maybe Osimhen. And they've brought in Florian Wirtz as well. Who was the best player in the Bundesliga. So I think that Arsenal, it will take a lot for them to win the Premier League this season. But once again, maybe the Andre Bertas, the guys, the Kronkers, will need to start thinking, Arteta might just not be the guy
to take them to the
to
promised
take us to
Yeah.
that next level.
Yeah.
We are moved. See, the face of their developments.
There is
they're
no
moving
concern
well.
about making top 4.
Yeah, they're moving.
That's
well.
the truth. There's
They
no
are
concern
constant
about
in the
making top
Champions
4.
League, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
they want to do that, but for them to be able to win, go across the line. Let me give you a good example. PSG semi-final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal should.
yeah.
I mean, not credit to PSG. Also be PSG in the group's phase, or the league phase of the Champions League.
Champions League.
I know PSG became a different juggernaut, right? And they played some good stuff, bit into. But you get in the Arsenal should have done better. Maybe in that second leg, maybe even in that first leg as
Yeah.
well. And sometimes your manager is that guy that takes you across that line. And I don't think that Arteta is able to do that for Arsenal.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Ayo. Thanks so much, Wiley, for coming
Pleasure,
on the
man.
show. And that's it right here in True Talk Nigeria podcast. Shout out to our sponsor, Blue Ridge Microfinance Bank, your one-stop microfinance bank for anything finance. Hopefully, we'll see a change in the NPFL. And we hope that people,
Very important.
people can be more patriotic about it. I hope they can put out jerseys. I hope we can be.
It would
I hope we
even
can
create
have-
more
yeah.
jobs. We're talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It unlocks a lot.
Yeah.
I hope that we can also have a very strong presence on social media. I mean, even if we're not streaming now, can we have
Credit, we must give credit to the clubs. Because that's where I catch some highlights and stuff.
Those
It
are
might be
unofficial
subpar.
highlights.
Exactly, it might be subpar, but let's still credit the
Yeah, I mean, the league
media guys.
broadcasters, the
The
streaming
media
guys
guys.
and Star Times, they had a deal. So if you go to any match right now, you cannot have the clubs record those matches.
yeah.
You can only get it from the official
Okay.
Feed.
broadcast. Yeah, exactly.
And
So.
it's properly recorded and all of that.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right?
Yeah. But I think we need to do more. I mean, for example, why shouldn't we have a highlight show?
Exactly.
See,
Catch that on a Monday.
like I said, they're the little details.
And those are the things the fans who went to the stadium on Saturday, Sunday want to enjoy during the week.
If I'm not in Gombe, I should be able to watch a Gombe United highlight reel.
Yeah.
Basically.
Highlight.
Yeah. So.
All right. A fantastic one. Thank you so much, guys. Until next week, when we come your way, go on all social media platforms, True Talk Nigeria podcast. And until next week, we come again. That's bye for now. Enjoy it.